As you can tell by the thumbnail, some shit is about to go down in this video. I was going to make this age restricted, but because of I don't want to, I'm not that kind of person, because I know some of you guys are a younger age, and I don't want you guys to be, you know, not be able to watch my videos just because you're not a certain age. Um, and not. So instead, I'm putting this disclaimer in the beginning of the video. The shit I'm about to describe to you is really fucking just plain like really gory, and some of it may be offensive. So if you are easily offensive and do not like this kind of gory shit, I recommend you leave this video. But let's get right into this review. So, this movie, The Green Inferno, possibly one of the goriest movies I have ever seen. Now this wasn't. I did not know about this movie until my cousin had told me about it. The week before it came out, and he told me to go with him, and he asked me if I wanted to go with him. I said sure, so I went to go see it. So basically, the movie is based around Wall Street and all these other stuff, social media. You know, how can people really change stuff with a hashtag? Like for example, the Ferguson and Save and I Stand with Ahmed and stuff like that. And this movie tries to tell you and tries to tell you how this shit works, and it goes actually pretty into detail with all of this. Um, so basically, what's going on is the main character Justine, um, is a student at a college, and she's a freshman. Um, she goes to this group, activist group, that's going to save the Amazon, and she flies there with them. Their plan to stop this bulldozer thing, kind of, to stop the rainforest getting, to stop the rainforest from getting destroyed. They lock themselves onto the trees, and they basically, are standing there, and they have masks on and recording the entire thing. Now, what happens is the girl's lock was not working because it was all a setup, um, and she almost gets her head blown off with a gun, and she is just terrified, and they celebrate because they actually stopped it. Then their plane crashes, and I'll explain why it crashed later on. It crashes, everyone dies. The pilot gets hit with a wooden freaking tree. With a tree that that hit him right here. It's like a wooden plank or something. They got hit by a wooden plank. Everyone's dying. Then all of a sudden, the main guy, like the guy who's leading the group, by the way, let's call him douchebag, because this dude was a real dick in the movie. Just saying this right now. So, it's about to get pretty intense here, what I'm about to say. Anyway, she comes, her girlfriend, his girlfriend finds the villagers, and she's like, hello, help me, because she thinks they're helping her. And then an arrow shoots through her neck, and she's on the ground, and the douchebag's trying to help her. And then another arrow goes through her head, and she's dead instantly. So all that remains is now 4 survivors: the main character Justine, her friend Jonah, or 6 actually, her friend Jonah, and 2 other girls, and and the main leader. So what's going on first is, in their capture, they go to the village. Jonah is actually put onto a thing, and they kind of help him a little bit, give him something to drink, and then they put him on a thing, and immediately the leader of that group, the leader of the village, goes in, grabs him, cuts out his 2 of his eyes and then his tongue, and then proceeds to eat him. Oh my fucking god! It was. Then he gets his limbs cut off, and they cook him. They cook his body, his arms and legs, and his head. All they ate was the eyes and the tongue. That's their ritual. So they're talking, they're like, dude, we gotta escape now. So they try to escape by climbing over the fence, and one of the girls gets darted trying to climb, out of the cage that they're in. So then, the villagers come to their cage, and they take the 3 girls that were with them. This shit is where it's about to get a little bit insane. So if you're still watching, yet again, disclaimer, this is some gory shit. So there's apparently some rituals that some tribes do in Africa and stuff like that, and in Peru. And this is where that movie takes place, Peru. And the villages. May I remind you, this is filmed by the villagers are actual villagers, but the you could tell which ones are actors and which ones aren't. But this is not the villager. This is not the villager actors. So this is not the villager. This is an actual actor that does this. So anyway, so the one of the main leader of the tribe, which is the actor, takes this. She has this thing, like almost like a shark tooth kind of shape, on her finger, and the ritual is that the women have to have their ovaries and vagina cut up, and I have to use it because it's the actual term, and they're supposed to cut their insides, and it represents them as a woman. And for 30 days they have to go through that pain, and they seal it up so they don't have to go through that pain. So basically, what proceeds to go down is she cuts all three of them up, just like she goes all the way down, and she cuts them to see any of them bleed. None of them actually bleed. I don't know why. None of them actually bleeded. They only bled once, but the main character Justine bled a lot, and they did this ritual. They put her blood on their forehead, and she was supposed to be the main course. So then they go back to the cage, and the villagers feed him, and what they feed him is actual human flesh. One of the girls I forgot to mention did escape, but she was captured off screen, and she was eaten, and she was a girlfriend of one of the one of the girls, and when the girl sees that in the plate, because she sees her tattoo, she slams the plate, cuts her freaking God. I can't believe I'm even reviewing this movie. Cuts her neck open, and it's just insane. She dies right then and there. Meanwhile, in the fucking corner, the douchebag is jerking it off, and he's like, oh, I gotta release stress, and they're fighting him. They're trying to jump him. He's not worth it. Then the villagers again throw darts at the remaining four survivors. Now the five survivors. The five survivors are Justine, one I think Justine, one good guy. I forget what his name is. The leader of the group, and they're actually, yeah, it is for Justine, the main leader of the activist group. Um, and then the guy from Spy Kid and some other dude with a beard. They then try to talk things out, and Justine and with the guy with the beard, I'm gonna call him the guy with the beard, um, walk. They get out. Let's call him Derek. So Derek walks out with her Justine. And they escape. So they go back to find the plane crash, where they try to go back to the crash site, or where they crash, because one of them has a satellite phone, and that can save them from getting there. From that can say it's the only hope from getting saved. They go there, and all their friends' bodies are sticked onto a pole. And when they're there, they try to find a thing. They try to find the satellite phone. The villagers find them immediately, darts at them again, and then the main character Justine wakes up, and she is naked, and they are painting her white with her red. If you guys want to see a trailer, you'll see what I'm talking. Just look up a trailer if you're very interested. And they look at it, and they tell her, or they keep putting her. They put her on makeup, and the guy who tried to help her escape, Derek, we're calling him Derek from now. He is put on a stick, tied up to a stick, kind of like the crucifix style, and he is, they for escaping, they punish him. They have this green stuff that attracts the wild ants in Peru, and what happens is they bite him, and there's ants all over his face, his body, and they're biting him. While meanwhile, Justine is just sitting there, just trying to do everything for her life, and douchebag is in the cage with one of the guys, one of the survivors. Okay, I forgot to mention, he died. The guy from the Spy Kids, he died. He tried putting. He had this brilliant plan of putting weed in one of their friends' dead bodies. The girl who cut her neck because they ate her neck. They ate her necks after he did that. Put weed in her body. Then all the villagers got high, but then he unfortunately died. because of, the villagers had the munchies. Anyway, so the douchebag is the last one in the cage. Justine's friend is dead. Justine is just sitting there and she's helpless. But in the movie, she was getting close to a villager by playing a whistle that her mom gave her on a necklace. And the small kid thought that was pretty cool, so we helped her out, and knocked out the lady that was trying to do the ritual on her. And meanwhile, the villagers are distracted because the bulldozers were getting closer and closer and closer to them. The reason for this, the plane was sabotaged. The main activist leader was actually trying to help his friend out by because it was a third party company, and basically his friend would get all the money from it if he had helped him out. And that went down to a militia shooting the villagers, Justine escaping, and she went back home, and apparently this is all a dream. And she wakes up again, and the activist leader has a group for himself now, but he is still caged. So it wasn't a dream. I don't know. Some of the movie, it was confusing. Part of it was a dream, and then all this shit. And then he goes down, and then she looks out the window, and she sees the activist leaders on a shirt, and there are people chanting, "Free him! Free him! Free him!" And he's still with the villagers in Peru. So at this point, mid-credit scene rolls, and there is Justine. It's Justine talking, and the activist's sister, and they're talking, and a satellite military kind of satellite all zooms in onto the village, and they're talking like, "I need to talk to you. I found a satellite image of my brother, and we need to talk." And it turns out the douchebag became a cannibalist at the very end of the movie. And what happened was apparently this was based on a true story, and I had no idea if they're making plans for a sequel, but this movie can go down and possibly will go down as one of the goriest movies to ever be shown in an American theater. That's about it, you guys. I know I wasn't that gruesome. I was probably over exaggerating, but just the shit that I did not want to describe to you guys was just completely overboard. And I feel like if you guys really want to go see this movie, go see it for yourself. I thought I was going to be used to it, but to be honest, they pushed it beyond my fucking limits that I was expecting. And it was one of the most goriest movies I have ever seen. I have never, seen such a gory movie, especially with all these video games I play. And it was just a really, really gruesome experience, but it was also pretty funny, pretty cool. Movie was that if you want to, I think it's better if you go see it with a group of friends instead of your parents with you. Just have a friend maybe or a cousin take you that's older than 21 because they will not let you in if you don't have a 21 year old. So, but anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, you guys. This is Light. This movie, I will give it maybe I think I'm gonna give it a 10. Story was pretty good, even though it was kind of confusing. You kind of get it at the end because everything was connected. So it was 10 out of 10. They did a perfect job. The goriness looked very real. All the actors are alive. Don't worry. And it was really awesome. It went beyond my limits, yeah, making an amazing story. Even though it was mostly showing off the special effects, it's awesome. It was a great experience, and I don't think I'll ever forget that. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, guys. This is Light, and I will see you guys in the next video.